This is a presentation for my final project. My question is, how many hours on TikTok do you spend weekly? And according to this website, the average TikTok user spends an average of 46 minutes a day on the app, which is approximately 6 hours a week spent on TikTok. Why did you choose this project? I felt that it was very interesting to know the amount of hours somebody spends on the app TikTok, because personally I spend a lot of hours myself. What is your research question? My question is, how many hours do you spend on TikTok weekly? What does your data represent? My data represents how many hours a week do Americans spend on TikTok. What is your alpha and why? 0.05, because that's standard. Describe your sampling method. I asked 50 Americans randomly by going up to random people around the town and asking them myself, how many hours do you spend on TikTok a week? Who is the population? The population is all Americans. Who is the sample? The sample is 50 randomly selected Americans. How did you avoid bias? In order to avoid bias, I randomly asked Americans of all ages, races, and genders, and ethnicities. And the question I asked them was, how many hours a week do you spend on TikTok? This is my data. I used 50 Americans. This is my histogram graph. Explain the graph. The graph appears to be right skewed. This means majority of Americans are on TikTok less hours of the week. Hypothesis test. Write your hoes and your ha's. My hoes is U equals 6. The average hours of Americans spent on TikTok is 6 hours a week. My ha is U is less than 6. The average hours Americans spend on TikTok is less than 6 hours a week. It's my citation. Check the condition. Condition 1 is random sample and independence. The data was collected randomly. Condition 2 is normal. The sample size is bigger than 25, so we can say that normal data for a t-test. And condition 3 is a big population. The population was greater than 10. That's sample size, and all Americans was 50. So all Americans is greater than 500. All conditions are met. Show your calculations. I did the calculations and I showed my work through these pictures that I uploaded through Adobe Scan. Conduct the test label your statistic and your p-value. My test statistic is negative 0.5277 and my p-value is 0.3. Include your graph. Explain the graph. Since the p-value is 0.3, which is more than the alpha 0.05, we are not going to reject the hoe. Write conclusion to your hypothesis testing in the context of your problem. I do not reject hoe. There is statistically not enough significant evidence to reject the hoe. P-value equals 0.3. I conclude that average Americans use TikTok weekly less than 6. Complete the confidence interval, show your work, and explain the results. The X line is 5.8. The standard deviation is 2.68. The sample size is 50. The C value is 0.95, and I calculated it and uploaded it. And I am 95% confident that the average hours Americans spend on TikTok weekly is between 5.04 and 6.56. And my paragraph reflection on what you learned about this project. I've learned a lot from this project. I was surprised of how little the average hours Americans spend on TikTok was. If you compare it to how many hours I spend, it was very low. Once I started asking Americans, I noticed that the average hours was accurate based on the website. Some were higher than others. I should probably cut back on the amount of hours I spend on TikTok weekly. And this is my presentation. Have a good day.